All right, welcome back to Rad Garage. Today's video is quite a departure from my regular style, but you saw the thumbnail for this video. It is the end. Don't worry, it's not the end of Rad Garage. It's actually just the end of my time with my beloved 2018 Audi SQ5. And I thought what I would do in this video is just review some of the experiences from my ownership of this vehicle and talk a little bit about, just what it has meant to me in terms of like just personally, but also with my family. If you're not a sentimental car person, you might just want to go on to the next video. But if you, like me, do create strong relationships and bonds with your vehicles, then stick around. I purchased this. This is the B8 SQ5. Sorry, this is the B9 SQ5. This was purchased after owning the B8. That's why I was confused. So I had the B8 from 2014 to almost the end of 2017, but I decided to sell that, and we bought this brand new in September of 2017 from a dealership here in town. And since that day, it just really performed. It just performed in a way that I can't even criticize it if I was trying. But this was purchased brand new. It's Daytona Gray Pearl. It's the Technik package, which in Canada is the top package. It had almost every option you could click back then. I didn't go with the adaptive cruise control, but I think it has everything else. So it's a very well-equipped Audi SQ5, and if you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know that I have meticulously cared for it. So I'm very, very proud of how it presents itself cosmetically. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't want to talk yet about just all of the rationale behind getting rid of it, because that'll come a little later. So what I thought I would do is just talk a little bit about some of the highlights of this particular car. And maybe I'll even throw in some things that never really sat well with me. So the highlights are just the performance in all seasons that this SQ5 has provided us. My son plays hockey almost all year, and that means we hit the road quite a bit in the winter in conditions that most normal people would stay home. And I'm so proud to say that this car never once did anything or was unable to do anything that we asked of it. So when we first purchased it in September, a few months later, we went to our first out-of-town hockey tournament for that season. And my son was probably 6 years old at the time. And we had a tournament in Jasper, way up in the mountains. If you're familiar with Alberta at all, you know that the drive from Calgary to Jasper on a good day, while being beautiful, can present some challenges. We left Jasper after just getting absolutely trounced by these small town teams, which is a whole other story for a different day. But we left in the middle of a snowstorm, and I was following my friend Jeff, who's a very experienced driver in the mountains. He's a photographer, and he does a lot of wedding photography out in the Rockies. So we went in tandem from the Jasper town site, and from Jasper to Lake Louise was white knuckle. And I didn't really understand just how capable this vehicle was at the time. It was equipped with winter tires, so was Jeff's vehicle, and we just pounded our way through this snowstorm when everyone else decided to go the long way. But yeah, that really introduced me to just what an amazing all-around warrior this car is. This car, when you put the pedal down, any season, any road condition, you get nothing but traction and you get acceleration. And I was always impressed with how this car always seemed to rise to the occasion. And I think back now, we probably have done, well, 50,000 kilometers of just following my son's hockey schedule. And, daily driving as well here in town is not always easy. I gotta say, the Quattro traction, the performance, just the way it handles the road so sure-footedly, is that a word? Very impressive. And along with the performance, just the amenities in this car are almost too much to go into. You've got You've got just a comfortable cockpit, just has all the creature comforts that you would expect with a vehicle of this level. And I'm really going to miss it. It's aged very well. Part of that has to do with just the fact that I've taken good care of it, but the design is aged as well. Some of the things that maybe I won't miss so much, I always found that the steering wheel being typically round was always, I don't know, I didn't really suit the sporty nature of the vehicle, but I did like the virtual cockpit. A couple other things, you know, like this creaky door handle, this one panel of carbon fiber, you know, rattles a little bit, you know, little nitpicky things like that. On the interior, there's a little bit of a squeak with the center armrest that, you know, I tried to ignore for all the 9 years I owned it, but often I was unable to ignore it. I'm being very picky here. It's just been an amazing car inside and out. So I hear some of you asking, if you love the car so much, why are you selling it? And it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the kilometers that we have accumulated just in my son's hockey world and being a daily driver. It's now sitting just below 195,000 kilometers. So for those of you that don't know what a kilometer is, that's 121,000 miles. And that might not sound like a crazy amount of mileage, especially if your name's Tyson Hugie, but keep in mind that I bought this in 2017, so it has endured 9 winters, and it will be going into its 10th winter. And we here in my city experience, you know, plus 30 degrees Celsius in the summer, and we get down to below minus 30 in the winter. And if you're a bushing or a gasket or a seal, and you're made of anything that can contract and expand, you're going through that freeze-thaw cycle. And I recently took the car in for a service with my really good friend Ken, who knows everything there is to know about Volkswagens, Audis, and Porsches. And I asked him to do a very thorough inspection, because I'm at the point where, do I invest thousands in those parts that are starting to show their age, or do I just cut bait and run? And you know, Ken was so supportive. He's not afraid of high mileage Audis, and he gave me a laundry list of items that were, you know, crucial to deal with. And then there were things that, you know, we could kind of put off a little bit into the future. But when I looked at the list and I thought about the fact that we are going into what would be this car's 10th winter, it just made sense to part ways. Even though aesthetically she's super clean, this was the point where I wish I learned how to pull the wrenches a little bit so I could have done some of this repair myself. But the bills are started to add up theoretically in my mind, and I just didn't see the sense in taking that chance. So that's when I decided, okay, it's time to move on. What do I do with it? So I sent out some soft feelers to some people I know that have always admired the car, and I said, hey, would you be interested? I'm moving on from this car, but I'm willing to let it go for a very reasonable price. And like within 5 minutes, one of my hockey dad buddies, he texted me and said, I'll take it. But we sat down and I said, I really appreciate that you wanted that badly, but like, let's look at what it could possibly need in the near future here. And I'll be honest, I just don't want, not to lose a friendship, but I don't want my friendship ever impacted by a car. And so he agreed, and I am going to be trading it in on a new car. And I'm not going to go into what that new car is just yet, but yeah, I just wanted to bring viewers into my mind, into my mindset as to why I am calling it a day with my 2018 Audi SQ5 Technik, which has done nothing but impress me since September of 2017. And yeah, I do feel emotional about it, especially when I think this is the car that my son learned to drive with. This car has taken on so many momentous events in our life. And it's also just been there in the dead of winter when, you know, life is a bit of a drag. This car got us everywhere we needed to go, and it got us there fast, it got us there sure-footedly, and it got us there with a little bit of style. So, you know what, baby? I'm gonna miss you immensely. I wish we could have had another 200,000 kilometers together, but I wish you well. And I wish all my viewers well. Please stick around because I'll have a series of videos chronicling what comes next. And I always appreciate you guys sticking around to the end of these videos. And until next time, stay rad.